Hey, this is Michelle Green, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up SSL on your website on cPanel. So if you have cPanel, your hosting provider may offer this service. It is not available for every cPanel, so you just have to check your dashboard to see if the option is available. And the same is true if you're on another type of hosting. If you're not on cPanel, you may or may not have this option, but you would probably go about doing it in the same way. So I'm on my website, michellelgreen.com, and as you can see, it is not SSL, meaning it does not begin with HTTPS. And so I'm going to set this up so that it is on a secure server and has SSL. And the way you do this is you log into your cPanel, which I've already logged into, and then under security, you want to click on Let's Encrypt. So I'm going to click on that, and then down here where it says issue a new certificate, you should see your domain name there. So you want to click on issue, and then click issue again. So it says the SSL certificate is now installed on the domain michellelgreen.com. So as of right now, I do have a domain name where I can access at HTTPS. So if I go back to my website and add the HTTPS colon, you can see that the site does now come up. So it does come up, and it's not showing the padlock yet. It'll probably be a delay between when I submitted it and when the lock starts to show, but I am able to access it, it does indicate that I have successfully added the SSL certificate. There's some more steps that you need to take. Because I've already set up WordPress, I now need to go into my WordPress dashboard and enter these URLs in the general section of the site. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to go to settings and then general. So right now I'm going to change these URLs here to HTTPS. Okay, so the URLs under the WordPress address and the site address, I'm going to change to HTTPS to be consistent with my new URL. And then I'm going to click Save. Ideally, you want to do a backup. I tend to live on the danger side a little bit when it comes to my own websites, but ideally, you want to back up your server in case anything goes wrong. So now it's asking me to log in. Normally they ask me to do it before, so I'm going to do it now. Okay, so I'm logged in now. My URLs are changed. You can see up here in the browser that the HTTPS is there. So I am now secure. There's some more steps though. We're not done yet. What I'm going to do is go to plugins, and I'm going to add new, and I'm going to search for a plugin called Better Search Replace. Okay, and then here it is here. So I'm going to, you want to make sure it's compatible with your version of WordPress. It is, so I'm going to install it and then activate it, and then I'm going to go to Tools, Better Search Replace. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to do a search and replace for the URLs, references of the URL in our database. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to enter your domain name without the HTTPS. So you want it to be just the HTTP. And then I'm going to do replace with the HTTPS version. Okay, and then you want to highlight all of the tables so that it searches all the tables, and then it replaces every mention of HTTP with HTTPS so that we're consistent there. And you can do like a dry run if you want, but I'm just gonna I'm going to actually run the search and replace. So I'm going to uncheck it because I want to actually do this. Okay, so click run, search and replace. So it's now going through and it is changing all of those URLs. And it is completed. So what I like to do is I like to do it for both versions of the URL, with www and without www. So I'm going to do this again without the www dot and uncheck it and then run. Now, when I first learned this, they didn't say to do this, but I did it anyway because I figured if there are any mentions of the URL without the www, then I want to update that as well. And it does seem to be making changes, so I suggest doing this. Okay, that's done. Now there's another step we have to do is we want to force every URL, every version of your website to go to HTTPS. So if they come to your website via the HTTP, you want to redirect them to the HTTPS. And you can do this from FTP or you can do it from your cPanel. Since I'm already in my cPanel, I'm going to go ahead and do it through there. Although I normally like to use FTP just because that's where I'm used to doing stuff like this, but so since I'm already in here, I'm going to go and ahead and do it through cPanel. Okay, so you want to go to File Manager, and you want to make sure that you can see all of your files. So you want to click on Settings, and then click Show Hidden Files. Save. And that will show all of the hidden files, which are usually more secure files, which is why they hide it by default. I think what you need to do is you need to go to public_HTML, and there you will see the .ht access. Okay, so when you first get into cPanel, you first go into File Manager, you want to make sure you go into your public folder first, and then you want to unhide the documents or unhide any hidden documents, and then go ahead and open it up. So I'm going to right click and click edit again, and then right at the end of the document you want to go ahead and paste this code here. So wherever you're watching this video, I'll have that code on the page so that you can just copy and paste it. But you basically just want to copy this code. You don't want to do anything to it. It's not something where you have to modify any variables or anything. You just paste that code as it is, save, and you're done. And then any version of your website that people come to, they will automatically be redirected to HTTPS. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. I'm going to go to www.michellelgreen.com, click enter. And as you can see, it automatically redirected me to HTTPS. Okay, so there's a couple of last final steps that we need to go to if you have Google Analytics set up. You also want to change the URL from HTTP to HTTPS in Google Analytics. And you know what? I don't remember if I ever set up Google Analytics for this domain. So let's just go see. And I do not have Michelle L. Green set up in here. So I'm going to set that up now. And this is where you would actually change the URL from HTTP, where it says website URL. You just want to change the drop down menu to HTTPS. So if you had already had your analytics set up, unlike me, that's where you would go and you would change it from HTTP to HTTPS. So that's done. I have now set up Google Analytics. It is now set to HTTPS, which was the purpose of going in here in the first place. And I now need to go into Google Search Console and add all my URL versions. If you previously set it up, you probably already have your URL versions with the exception of the HTTPS version. So you will need to go in and add the HTTPS. Now for me, I'm gonna have to add all my different versions because I never did the first one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. HTTP colon www.michelleLream.com. And I'm just gonna copy that. So that's the one without the HTTP S, and and it's with www, so I'm gonna add that, and then I'm just gonna verify through Google Analytics, and then go back. I'm gonna add the next version, which is HTTP without www, and I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna verify via Google Analytics. Again, go back to Search Console Home. And now for the HTTPS versions. So I'm going to do HTTPS with www. Verify with Google Analytics. And I'm going to go back and do HTTPS without www. So I need to do the forward slashes. So you're going to have a total of 4 URLs, HTTP with and without the www, and HTTPS with and without the www. Here we go. HTTP without, HTTPS without, HTTP with www, HTTPS with www. Okay, so I did do everything set up as I expected, and that is it. That is how you add SSL to your website and force all URLs to HTTPS and update Google Search Console and Google Analytics with your HTTPS versions of the domain name. So that's it. Pretty easy. Everything is pretty, it's pretty straightforward, especially if you're already familiar with Google Analytics and familiar with File Manager or FTP. It's not too complicated. If you're new to this kind of stuff, it may seem a little bit scary at first, but it's really not very complicated if you just take it step by step. And hopefully this tutorial helped you. If so, leave me a comment and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.